Good afternoon, Tony. What is the aim now? 5 games to go. I think you're 4 points off the top half. Would a top half finish?
I think to get as many points as we possibly can. Obviously, it's a tough. The next 2 games are going to be tough. Arsenal and Tottenham away, and then we finish with West Ham and Liverpool at home, and in between that Bournemouth. So they're tough games, and we know they're tough games. So, to put a points tally on it, I'm desperate to get to the next stage and then the next stage, but they're tough games. And as we've seen, we could play well, which we have done in the last 2 games, and done well enough to pick points up and not got points. So, it's a relentless league. It's a tough league.
I suppose it's part of your challenge as a manager that when you're in this sort of mid-table position with 5 games to go, you've got to keep the motivation up.
Well, there's no problems with that. I think if you have a look at the stats that we get sent through every week, I think the running stats against Man City and against Watford were absolutely fantastic. The Watford one, I think, was, we actually covered more distance in that game than we had all season. So, but if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, then you don't win games. And we've had opportunities in both games to score goals, and we've missed those chances.
You mentioned stats. My very diligent colleagues always send me pertinent stats before any press conference, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but top of yesterday's email was that Tony Pulis has lost on all 7 of his visits to the Emirates. So that's one you want to put right?
Yeah, I've got quite a good record against Arsenal, but always on home ground, not away. And it'd be nice to go there and get a result.
Is it a good time to play them? Because they seem to be sort of finishing the season with a bit of a whimper.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I think Arsenal could beat any team in Europe on their day. And I think Arsenal has been unfortunate with injuries this year. He's missed big players at important times. Once all those players are fit, he's got a squad big enough and strong enough to win this league. And he'll be disappointed with the inconsistency, but all the other clubs will be saying exactly the same, apart from maybe Leicester and Tottenham.
Do you understand the frustration from Arsenal fans that they feel as if this season was a real missed opportunity for them?
I don't think it's just Arsenal. I think lots of clubs will look at it and think it was a missed opportunity. That's obviously not being disrespectful to Leicester, who've just done absolutely fantastic, and Tottenham. Mm-hmm. They've been the best 2 teams this year in the league, and they're first and second. It doesn't lie after a period, so they've been much more consistent than anybody else.
Has Saido been fairly philosophical this week? No one ever wants to miss 2 penalties in one game, but he sort of shrugged it off and dealt with it.
I'm not sure he understands that word. He's been brilliant. He's been as good as gold. He's missed 2 penalties. Everybody does it. As I've said before, I said in the interview afterwards, all the top strikers in the world who have taken penalties have missed penalties. The boy wanted to pick the second one up and take it, and he's missed that one. And he'll pick the next one up and take the next one as well. And hopefully he'll smash in the back of the net. It's all character building for him. A young boy. He's a tremendous player. Obviously, this year has been a very, very, very much a roller coaster season for him. And things have happened that have never happened in his career before. So you dust it down and you move on.
He wasn't in first thing on Monday morning practicing his penalties or anything like that?
He might have been. I wasn't in first thing on Monday morning, so I wouldn't have seen him.
Is there anything you've seen of him in recent weeks that convinces you that he will be here next season?
Well, I think the important thing there is that Saido works hard for the remaining 5 games, and then you speak to the chairman and speak to other clubs who are interested. That's the situation with Saido, and it's always been the same. The kid's under contract next year again. So as far as I can gauge, that's the situation now. It was a year ago and 18 months ago, and it won't change unless the chairman feels it's right and deems it's right that the kid, it's the right move for the football club and for the kid.
And certainly no one can question the effort he's been putting in recent weeks.
He's been, like I say, to be honest, out of the last 2 games, Saido could have scored 5 goals. He could have got a hat-trick at Man City, and the 2 penalties that he missed against Watford. So, that shows. And that's what happens with strikers. Strikers have, good patches and bad patches. But the kid has been in there, and, the chances he's missed, he'll get stronger. But he won't stop going in there. He's that type of character.
Thanks, Tony.